Hey friends, I'm Jennifer Walker Gates, board certified immigration attorney in Austin, Texas. And I'm here today to talk to you about DACA Advance Parole and how to use DACA Advance Parole to get residency. Now, this is really important because, again, DACA has been reopened forcibly by the US court system, which we're so grateful for in this day and age. After President Trump tried for several years to end DACA, he was ordered directly by several courts and finally was forced to comply with those orders to reinstate DACA to its full glory as it was when President Obama first announced the program. Now, DACA originally included the benefit of advance parole as an opportunity for people who had received DACA to travel internationally. And so, what I want to talk to you about today is what is advance parole? How does it work? What is required? And if you get advance parole with DACA, how you can use that in some certain situations to become eligible for what's called adjustment of status. Adjustment of status is when you apply for and become a resident inside the United States. You no longer have to request a waiver or travel to Ciudad Juarez or any other consulate from around the world to become a resident. You get to apply and finish the process in the United States at a local USCIS office if you qualify for adjustment of status. So I want to show you now my screen and talk about DACA and advance parole. So first, let's say, what is advance parole? Advance parole is an advance permission to travel internationally and return to the United States. It is a letter that is sent to the person who qualifies by USCIS. It has a photograph and it says specifically that during this particular window of time, this person has authorization to travel outside the United States and come back legally. Travel on advance parole does not trigger bars, unlike all other kinds of traveling outside the United States. If you have been in the United States without status, which most people who have DACA, that was a requirement for them to be able to get DACA, is that they were here without lawful status. So if you have DACA and you have been in the United States without lawful status for 6 months or more, if you leave the United States, most of the time you're going to trigger a bar. However, under a case called Matter of Arabelli and Yarabelli, which is kind of a funny name, but Yarabelli says that travel on advance parole is different because you've specifically requested the opportunity to leave and return with that document. It's kind of like having a rope tied around you as you float outside the border. It's kind of like a spacewalk. It is not the same as a regular departure from the United States. So traveling on advance parole internationally does not trigger inadmissibility bars that then require you to get a waiver before you come back. And entering the United States with advance parole is a lawful entry. It qualifies as a lawful entry under the Immigration Nationality Act, Section 245A, which is the section that deals with adjustment of status. Now, the requirements to apply for and receive, I'm going to move my image up here so y'all can see the words. Requirements to qualify for DACA advance parole. First, you got to have DACA and it has to be current and valid. So if you haven't gotten DACA yet, definitely need to get that in place first and then apply for advance parole. In addition, if you're going to apply for advance parole, you have to have one of these 3 reasons. Number 1, an educational reason. It could be that you're going to take a course, that you've been accepted to a study abroad program, that you're going to do field research. If you're in some kind of college program that requires you to go outside the United States and study and talk to people, do some interviews, go make some scientific findings, whatever it may be, those would be an educational purpose for travel. That is one option for getting DACA advance parole. Number 2, a professional reason. Perhaps your work is scheduled a trip. Maybe there's a conference. Perhaps they want you to take a training. It may be that you have client meetings. Professional reasons do qualify for advance parole with DACA. And finally, humanitarian. You may have immediate family members outside the United States that you haven't seen in a long time. This may include grandparents, it may include cousins, uncles, siblings, parents. Typically, you do have to show some kind of familial relationship with the person or something substantially similar. Maybe you were raised by a particular individual before you came to the United States and you haven't been able to see them for a long time. Perhaps they're sick. Perhaps this may be your last opportunity to see them. There needs to be something of a compelling humanitarian reason to be approved under this category of DACA Advance Parole. But in our experience at Walker Gates Vela, most people who apply and have requested this type of advance parole for DACA have been approved. So now, once you go outside the United States and then return with DACA Advance Parole, how do you qualify for adjustment of status? Not everyone is going to qualify just because they traveled. However, that travel and return, that lawful return does create an opportunity if you are at that moment or later become the spouse of a US citizen. If you are the spouse of a US citizen and you have that one exit and entry, now it can't be more than, you can't have multiple unlawful entries as a child or even as an adult. Those kinds of unlawful entries will create a permanent bar. And unfortunately, DACA Advance Parole won't get you beyond that. But if you've only ever had one unlawful entry in the past, then you use the DACA Advance Parole and you're the spouse of a US citizen, you can apply for adjustment of status. Parents of adult US citizens, if you happen to have a child who's 21 years or older and you have traveled outside the United States on advance parole and you don't have other bars or inadmissibilities, that 21-year-old US citizen child can petition for you to get adjustment of status. Finally, minor children of US citizens can also, if they're under 21 and they've traveled on advance parole and come in on advance parole and don't have other bars or inadmissibilities, minor children of US citizens can also apply for adjustment of status. Now, for spouses of lawful permanent residents and minor children of lawful permanent residents, the same is true if after they return with their advance parole, they maintain lawful status in the United States, including DACA. They keep their DACA always intact. And those individuals may also qualify for adjustment of status. Now, it's going to be important to make sure that you don't have other inadmissibilities or complications in your case before applying for adjustment of status. But in general, these are the rules of the game when it comes to DACA Advance Parole. If we are able to help you at Walker Gates Vela analyze your eligibility for DACA Advance Parole, or apply for any of these programs, we would be happy to do so. Please contact us regarding a consultation. Leave us comments below the video. Let us know if you like it, share it with friends. We hope that this has helped, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.